It's August 19th.
This is The Warning.
What can be said about this moment in time? What words are adequate to convey to people who may be watching, or perhaps even more importantly, to people who may watch one day that see this electronic record preserved, wanting to try to understand what was happening on the 19th of August in the year 2025 in a time of growing and urgent crisis in the United States as we get ready to celebrate the 250th anniversary of independence. What other word could there possibly be to describe the disordered man sitting in the Oval Office that he is decorated like a pimp on a hallucinogenic than whack job? Let's watch Donald Trump on Fox News.
I want to get things done. You know, I've solved 7 wars. We ended 7 wars. I thought this would be one of the easier ones, and this has turned out to be the toughest one. India, Pakistan, I mean, these were big ones, and also all big ones, and some going for 31, 32 years, one for 35 years. The Congo, think of that, the Congo and Rwanda for 35 years. I got that one done. I got them all done, but this one is the one that is the most difficult, and I thought it would be an easy one. So I hope President Putin is going to be good, and if he's not, it's going to be a rough situation. And I hope that President Zelensky will do what he has to do. He has to show some flexibility also. The thing is a mess. This was started by Joe Biden. This was a war that should have never happened.
Donald Trump has not stopped 7 wars in 7 months. It's a lie. And before you hear that lie, there's something you should ponder. Joseph Goebbels is one of the most evil human beings who has ever breathed on earth. The Nazi propaganda minister had an insight about people. What he said was, the bigger the lie, the more likely it is to be believed. And we see the effects of that. We see members of Congress saying the January 6th insurrectionists did nothing wrong. They did a great deal wrong. They betrayed their country. They raised their hand against the American flag, and they assaulted hundreds of police officers. What comedy it is to see Jeanine Pirro demand obeisance, demand fealty to law enforcement as a cheerleader for the overthrowing of the government and the assault by those treacherous Americans on law enforcement.
Go to D.C., experience D.C. I want you to go there. Go right ahead. But here's what the president's going to do. He's going to make a difference. We're going to change the laws. We've got liberal judges. We've got liberal laws. Everything is going to change.
What are you going to do about these? They're getting paid. They're getting paid to stop the cleaning up of the city.
They're getting paid. You know what? Nobody cares because we're going to do our job because Donald Trump knows what he's doing. President Trump knows what he's doing. And right now, they don't matter. What matters to the minority community and the people in the district and to the press. At that press conference, the president said he never saw the press room so packed. These are press people from D.C. who were scared to death as well.
That's an example of a big lie. That January 6th was a peaceful day. That Donald Trump won the election in 2020 that he lost. Titanic lies. Society-crushing lies. The job that Donald Trump has comes with the promise. That's what the presidential oath is. To preserve, to protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. The lives of hundreds of millions of people are dependent on that promise. Their happiness, their prosperity, the lives of their children and their children and their children and their children. When is the expiry that we should stop caring? When should we become indifferent to the future of the United States? Should it be 10 years after our death? 25 years? 35 years? Well, a lot of people are getting a lot of practice in indifference right now. But let's watch Donald Trump lie to the American people.
But you did get President Putin to agree to NATO-like protections. So tell us about that. What does that entail?
Well, the war really started over NATO and Crimea. And they wanted Crimea back. That was given, not a shot fired by President Obama in perhaps the worst real estate deal I've ever seen. There's been a couple of them. I would say the Gaza Strip was a pretty bad one, too. Given by Israel so they'd have peace. So they gave away a big percentage of their oceanfront property in order to have peace. How did that work out? Not so good. And Crimea is the apple of Ukraine. I mean, it's so beautiful. And Obama gave it away. Nobody ever mentions that. If I ever did that, the fake news would be, they would be writing about me day and night for years. He gave it away. He demanded that they let it go. And Russia came in and took it, just took it like from a candy from a baby. And it was really Obama's, not really, I mean, that was pure and simple, Obama's fault. What a terrible thing he did to that country. And so they lost their heart. They lost the heart and soul of the Ukraine 14 years ago, whatever it might be. And it was so unnecessary to do that. And that's when it really began, when Obama gave it away.
Let's contemplate the insanity here, the terrible judgment, a lie.
Look, everybody can play cute and this and that, but, you know, Ukraine's going to get their life back. They're going to stop having people killed all over the place, and they're going to get a lot of land. But this was a war, and Russia is a powerful military nation, you know, whether people like it or not. It's a powerful nation. It's a much bigger nation. It's not a war that should have been started. You don't do that. You don't take on a nation that's 10 times your size. And, you know, military experts look, if it wasn't for the greatest military equipment, we make the greatest military equipment in the world, and we gave them, you know, whatever. They took probably a lot of money, too. But they had tremendous, you know, they had the Patriot missile, which is the best in the world. All the equipment, we make the best equipment in the world by far. Everyone else is like nothing. So we gave them a lot of equipment. Now, with that said, the Ukrainian soldiers were brave as hell because they're fighting a force that's much, much bigger and, in theory, much more powerful. And, you know, it's not like they've stopped. I assume you've all seen the map. You know, a big chunk of territory is taken, and that territory has been taken. Now, they're talking about Donbass, but Donbass right now, as you know, is 79% owned and controlled by Russia. So they understand what that means.
Oh, and another lie. And of course, each lie is treated like a religious revelation by the 6 sycophants that surround him, that were elected by the citizens in their communities to represent them, who have thoroughly betrayed them. Members of Congress who have gotten in line behind all of this sickness. This is a tragic era for America. The lie is strangling the truth. Masked men are in the streets. Concentration camps are being built. And inside those concentration camps, consumption, tuberculosis, a disease that comes from squalor and filth, has resurrected itself under the banner of the MAGA flag in torture facilities, in the land of the free and the home of the brave. The American people do not need Donald Trump's blessings or permission to be free. We are free, and we were created free. Donald Trump's assaults on civil rights, human rights, and the truth are an abomination. They're un-American, and they must be opposed effectively, fiercely, and relentlessly. If they are not, we lose the country. This is The Warning.
I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning. I invite you to join this community where I promise to be honest, blunt, and direct about what is happening in this country. America is in crisis. Follow and subscribe to this channel and on Substack. Thank you.